Taylor Evans. I am a junior social studies education major from Waverly, Ohio. I first started coming to the MSC about a year and a half ago, so it was about October of 2013. And I first came here because a friend of mine wouldn't stop bugging me about it, and she wouldn't leave me alone until I came to at least one service. And so I finally said, okay, I'll come, and I haven't stopped coming since.
Yep. My name's Andrew Donner. Everybody calls me Donner. I don't know why, it just happens. I graduate in 2 weeks. That's scary. With a university studies degree. And then I plan on going to seminary after that, if that's important information. My testimony is I grew up in the Catholic Church. I was very involved during like First Communion stuff. Sorry, my ADD kicked in. Very involved in it when I was going through like First Communion and stuff like that. When I got through confirmation, I was on fire. I was really the only reason my family went to church was because they didn't want me nagging at them to get to church. And then when something happened in my church, it kind of fell. So my relationship with Christ kind of hindered a little bit. He came down to Morehead, was kind of like, hey, I don't need God yet. I'll get God when I get married. And when I have kids. And then I lived with Dylan Hargett my sophomore year. And I started coming to Devos when he would drum. And then I would start coming to Devos to listen to the message. And then God was like, hey, you're going to recommit your life. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I can do that. And then God's like, hey, you're going to get baptized. No big deal, but I can do that as well. And then it was, hey, you're going to preach. Nope. Whole bunch of nope. And so, but I've been wrestling with the call to preach since I was in elementary school, to be completely honest. I just didn't want to admit it until after I got baptized. I was like, okay, time to change my major, get out of here as soon as possible, and go do what God's called me to do.
Well, my name is Drew McNeil. I'm the campus minister at the Morehead State University Wesley Foundation, a.k.a. Methodist Student Center, a.k.a. MSC. This is my 10th year of serving as the pastor or campus minister at this place. When I was a student here at Morehead State in undergrad from 1984 to 1989, I was a student leader fairly quickly, helped lead the music and worship and groups that would go time to time to churches to help tell our story, that there are Christian student organizations you can get involved with in addition to any other extracurricular activity that you would find on campus. Through serving in a leadership capacity that way, my campus minister at the time helped me be open to the possibility that even though I was getting a music education degree, I might at some point be called into vocational ministry, where ministry would be how I earn a living. And in the words of the Beatles, it was a long and winding road from when I graduated in '89 till when my girlfriend, who became my wife, who became the mother of our kids, that was all through the seminary process. We got married first, then we started seminary, then we started having kids. But through all of that, the Lord made it clear that if I ever did get into pastoral ministry someday, I would love to work with emerging adults. I just think this is the age when the real important decisions are made. What do I really believe in? How do I want to conduct myself, therefore, accordingly? Who do I want to be like? What kind of a job do I feel that God may be pursuing me to pursue? How will I get there and help that happen? Learning how to pray and discern all that was just very formative. From when I was a student, I thought I'm either going to teach for a living or play professionally for a living, and lo and behold, I did both before I became a pastor.
The most critical part, it's what led me to Christ. My roommate drummed here from off and on his entire collegiate career, and I just built relationships and made people who hold me accountable, make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, even though it's not necessarily always what I want to do. I've passed up, typical, party stage of your life, like, yeah, let's go. Passed up many parties because some people were like, you really need to go out there. I'm like, no, You're right. So it's helped me be held to a higher standard and be held accountable, and know that if I do slip up or I do make a mistake, that they're not going to hound me for it, but just be like, all right, we got you stronger next time. So that's how it's been a goal for me.
There have been some huge transformations. When I first came in, I didn't necessarily take my faith seriously. I believed in God. I believed, everything that I was raised in church. I believed everything that the pastor said on Sundays, and believed everything the Bible said, but I didn't actively live it out. And that allowed me to get into some pretty bad situations. I was in a pretty unhealthy relationship with a guy from back home. And so coming here and finding myself and who I am as a child of God, and strengthening that has changed me. I don't make stupid decisions, or as many stupid decisions anymore. And I was able to get out of bad situations and know who I could go to from this place, or it's just helped me, I guess, realize who I need to be.
Well, I think, again, these are the years when adult faith is formed, forged, fashioned. I came to give my heart to Jesus Christ when I was 12, going on 13. That was late junior high. Well, then in high school, I had to reaffirm that decision. And coming to campus, another major life transition, is a major reaffirming of that transition. One point I remember very vividly, first semester of my freshman year. If I called myself a Christian or a follower of Jesus, I couldn't be one way around my Christian friends, quote unquote, at the Methodist Center, and another way around my, quote unquote, non-believing friends in the music department. And so I had to reaffirm that decision that Jesus was still going to be my Lord and Savior, even in the college years. So I think this is, again, a key transition time between you're not paying your rent, you're not buying your insurance, you're not owning yet the responsibilities of a wife or husband and family, but you are discerning, who do I want to be, and how does the Lord want me to be, and how do I want to grow up, basically. How do I want to mature as an adult? Because it's different than when you're 12, 13, or 16. When you're 18, 19, 20, 21, and then the real choices at times start happening. So if I'm hearing your question correctly, I think this is the time to come alongside students and invite them to explore those questions and the answers to be found in the Lord for those questions. Who is He calling me to be, and how can I best serve and please Him, and invite others to follow Jesus in the process? I think that's the call of every emerging adult believer at some point.
Yes, because if it wasn't for places like this, then the people like me wouldn't come back to God until when we got married, when we said we would come back to God. But it just gives people a safe place to come and not feel pressured to do anything outside. I mean, I'm also in a fraternity, and when I told my brothers that I was felt the call to preach and was involved here, it didn't get shunned. It was actually welcomed. So it helps bridge gaps that most people wouldn't expect to be able to be bridged. So, and it's just a lot of fun as well.